Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to BT Talks. Today, I have my friend Eric Grant, who is the managing broker of Oakwyn Realty, also a top broker in Vancouver. We are going to discuss about all things real estate, luxury real estate, Vancouver, global real estate, the new trends today, social media, and a bunch of other cool things. I see Eric joining.
There I am.
There we go. So you're on time and you know how to join the talk because sometimes the guests have difficulty. It's not always that simple, but it is
In
what it is.
theory, anyway. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing.
Everything is good here. Keeping busy, as you see. I mean, the South Florida market is quite active,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
it's definitely not going to stop. But I think a lot of other big cities in the U.S. and Canada are also quite active.
yeah. That
How
whole
are,
so
how
that
are
whole that whole southern belt has really picked up. Like even talking to people in Dallas and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of exodus from California, New
yeah?
York. I think people are
Well,
sort
I
of
mean,
heading
we
south.
we know all the main reasons. Obviously, there's tax reasons, which makes a lot of sense. Whatever income or money you have, I mean, it just makes sense. And then I think after this whole pandemic, which here is kind of over,
Yeah,
everything is open, no mask. I mean, people also want to have a different lifestyle.
hundred
They want to
percent.
enjoy good weather. They want to enjoy nature. They want to enjoy the beach. They want to change. I think I mean, it doesn't mean that people will not, be spending time in places like New York City or Chicago, but I think they will spend at least half of their time living in a place like Miami or Austin, Dallas,
It's
places like that.
it's funny. I had that conversation just the other day with some agents, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the suburbs, or like the suburbs versus
Yeah.
the downtown core. My philosophy is I feel in the fall the downtown markets, or the sort of the Manhattans and all that stuff, are going to go bonkers because this is sort of my thought. It's same because downtown Vancouver is a little bit quieter. The suburbs are crazy and everyone's moving out, and the Hamptons and all that kind of stuff. I think people are going to get tired of that. I think summertime they're going to enjoy it. Awesome, we're great. We have all this space in the suburbs and the backyard and all that stuff.
Oh, of
And
course.
then when everyone goes back to school in September, like the local schools here in BC, they're all going back full time. And I feel that first week people are going to realize that traffic's going to go back. I think
Yeah.
they've had that experience of, oh, I'm living out in the suburbs, but I'm missing my colleagues and I'm
Oh,
going
that's for
back
sure.
downtown.
I mean,
So
wherever it is, I think, I mean, Miami is actually, quite special because there's so much things
yeah,
thanks to also our mayor, Francis Suarez, who is just taking great leadership and initiatives. And I think he's a great example for any other mayor in other cities, in the US. So that's, but here the advantage is true is that you get the city life, you also get the beach life, and you get,
yeah,
all these different things. So it's a mix. But I think, yeah, I mean, here there's a lot of people obviously from New York and California. There's a lot of New Yorkers that are still attached to New York City. So
yeah,
they
yeah.
keep their apartment, they go back. But again, for tax reasons and other reasons, they, get a place here and stay at least 6 months of the year
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
uh,
Well,
so, but let's
amazing.
start by first introducing who you are for those who don't know who you are. Eric Grant in Vancouver. Tell us who you are and your journey to real estate.
So yeah, my name's Eric Grant. I've been in real estate since 2003. Some of you were born around that time. No, I'm kidding. And
I don't
it's
know.
honestly, it's honestly, it's been spectacular. But the Vancouver market really has it's almost different than any other market in the world. When the world crashed in the late 2000s, we really bounced back within about 3 months. Our location with regards to water on one side, mountain on one,
Yeah.
border on the other, it really just it's that nice balance of lifestyle, So we're very blessed in terms of our, in people coming in, our immigration
Lifestyle, I
here,
mean, yeah,
and
location.
lifestyle here. We're very close to the harbor well, we're on the harbor, but close to the eastern seaboard in terms of Asia, Hong Kong, China, all that stuff. Even we've got a huge immigration population from Mexico,
Wow. Okay.
from Iran, from India as well. So we're a real melting pot, and it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome here.
I don't know Vancouver. I haven't been yet, and I really want to come. And I'm definitely going to come with my wife. That's for sure. It's one of the
Yeah.
places I'm like, Canada is such a big country. And there's so many beautiful places, but the west coast of Canada is supposed to be really, really nice.
It is. It's similar in terms of weather. People think, oh, we're in Canada and it gets cold, but it's very similar to Seattle.
Yeah.
So it rains enough just to keep people away, or the mindset of keeping people away. But honestly, the
So
sun's
yeah.
out, life is good.
So you've been in real estate in Vancouver for what, like 15 years?
18 years.
18
Yeah,
years.
yeah.
What were you doing prior to real estate? Did you
So
just get? Yeah.
no, I was actually involved I opened up one of the local hotels. It's a hotel called Oakwyn Hotel. So I was
Okay.
involved in that. And then actually prior to that, I lived in New York for 3 years. I did some theater and that stuff in New York. So that's sort of a little bit of my background.
Everybody stops by New York for something.
Yeah, honestly, you have to.
It's an experience. Yeah.
You have to, and that's what it was for me. So I lived on the Upper West. I was at 79th in Amsterdam for a while up there, and then prior to that, I used to own a construction company here in Vancouver. So I've kind of done a lot of stuff, which has actually aided me in the real estate world with regards to construction. Knowing how to build something.
Yeah.
But then also, I think the theater and film and television have always, this in this industry we're
Yeah.
in. So
Look, I think I've been in the business for 4.5 years, 3 years in New York and 1.5 here in Miami. I think it's a phenomenal industry. You just have to, that's what I tell a lot of people is you have to be committed 300%.
yeah,
And you have to go, it's long run. Like things don't happen overnight. I mean, I admire also everyone who's been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, it's dedication because you cannot do 5 years and then change and,
yeah.
doesn't work. So how did you see so you've been doing that since 2003 in Vancouver. How did the real estate market evolve between 2003 and now in Vancouver?
It's honestly, it's just been this trajectory straight up, pretty much. We really hit a boom in sort of 2004 to that 2008 run before the world collapsed. And then we had this little dip, and then off we went again. And really, year over year, it's up 10, 12, 15, 20%. Like the market has just been bonkers. The development here, it's a small city, or it really was. The Olympics really helped in 2010.
Yep.
That really boost. And then sort of early on, we had, way back when we had Expo 86, which really sort of put this small town on a global scale, on a global stage, and that really kind of kicked things off as well. But we've got even though we've got sort of limited land in terms of edges, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
The skyscraper situation here is quite limited. So it's really, we do still have a lot of land that we can build here, which has been great. So we have seen that transition of parking lots and sort of 2-story, 5-story buildings to tear down to we're now at sort of 50,
do people gravitate towards being in the heart of Vancouver, in condos, whether it's like downtown Vancouver or outside in the suburbs of Vancouver? Because I see these incredible houses out there. I'm like, wow, this is yeah.
I would say, downtown is really the hub, right? It really is. We're one of the only major cities in the world where we don't have a highway or a main thoroughfare from an airport to the downtown core. And so really you're literally going through, traffic lights, and you're seeing houses and developments and Shaughnessy, which is one of the most expensive areas in Vancouver. You're literally driving through these streets to the downtown core. again, for me, it's access to being in the center of it. You know, the last 15 years, the downtown core has really just taken off.
Yeah.
But you know, every sort of pocket is different, right? And every area is really just sort of thriving and doing well. So it's a desirable area. So
Do you have a favorite neighborhood in Vancouver? And if so, why?
you know what? For me, there's an area called Douglas Park, which is really kind of
Okay.
it's a community in terms of you've got your single family houses, but you've got some shops. There's, you know, sort of the in between sort of major sort of thoroughfares, if you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
You've got lots of little shops and restaurants and cafes and all that kind of stuff. But you're 5 minutes, 7 minutes to the downtown core, where you've got your beaches and your seawall and all that kind of stuff. So on that regards. That's sort of one of my areas. There's a in the center of Douglas Park,
Yep.
and there's some soccer fields and baseball fields, and you know, so on the weekend you'll see the kids running around and kicking the ball around and stuff like that. So
Nice.
so that's kind of a nice area. The west side of Vancouver has changed. It's a bit of a ghost town in terms of, because it is 45 minutes to downtown. You know, yes, it's spectacular out there. You've got University of British Columbia out there, and there's some nice beaches and all that kind of stuff. But honestly, every area, it's Vancouver. There's
Sure.
pockets, there's little areas. There's not really sort of a bad area in town, you know, in terms of real estate pricing.
I've heard, I believe that Vancouver, I mean, is one of the most expensive cities in North America.
It is. Globally.
Globally, even.
Yeah. And I think that relates to the incomes as well. You know, you look at New York and you look at 7-figure, 8-figure incomes in New York. We don't have that as much. You know, we do really rely on tourism. You know, a lot of people have made an awful lot of money in the real estate game here over the last 15, 20 years. There have certainly been some big players who have made some serious equity on that regards. And it's just it's a safe place to be. Financially, you know, where the Canadian government is a bit more conservative in terms of its banking regulations and what you can and cannot do, but also safety in terms of you can walk down the street. That's
what I see. It seems like a very, very attractive people, you know, whether they want to, you know, relocate there, live there, raise a family, or even, you know, buy a property as an investment.
Yeah.
So what would you recommend, like, as, you know, someone from outside of Vancouver or outside of Canada who is looking to invest in, you know, real estate, potentially in Vancouver? What is the process? Is there anything to know as being, say, maybe American or European, or how does it work for a foreigner?
Yeah, so presently there is a foreign buyer's tax. There's a 20% foreign buyer's tax on because of situations that we had the last run. There was huge investment here. You know, unfortunately or fortunately, the market became a bit of a stock portfolio for a lot of people in terms of because of the capital appreciation that was going on. But it's a fantastic place to be. You know, summertime here is amazing. Jean-Georges, we had the Shangri-La come here, and Jean-Georges opened up one of his restaurants here. And one of his things that he did was he was a guest writer for the local newspaper, the Vancouver Sun. And on one of his last articles, he says, Vancouverites, he said, wake up. He says, you guys do not realize how amazing you have it here. You've got some of the best restaurants in the world. And, you know, it's Tuesday. We could probably phone up and maybe get this Friday. If not, we can get next Friday. It's not a New York where you're 6 months, 8 months out for a dinner reservation.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And so it's amazing, right? It really is on that regards. And you're going to spend, you know, for a spectacular meal here with a nice bottle of wine, you'll spend $300 or $400. Like, it's not bad. It's
impressive.
So,
I see we have a lot of people joining, and I have my friend Carrie in London, actually, who's very sweet, and she always joins my lives, and
awesome.
she's telling me I have the best lives. I appreciate that. I try to do my best. I have Mike, my friend here in Miami, who's a great guy too, who says hi. It's great. You know, this is again just a little parenthesis. One of the reasons I do these lives is, you know, to connect with like-minded people. in real estate, but not only in real estate. And it just builds a connection. And, there's a lot of people joining on the live, and there's people that watch it after. And if you stay consistent doing it, there's magic that happens.
Oh,
And I think,
100%.
after this whole pandemic, I mean, we'll still be connected through, all the different online tools, but I think the human connection is so important.
Oh,
And
it's imperative.
I'm going to come to Vancouver, and we'll go to a very good restaurant, and we built relationships through these social media platforms.
100%.
So hold on, I think Carrie has a question. Yes, Carrie, you can ask your question.
Of course, of course.
No, it's good. Like, I mean, there's a lot of agents from around the world that are always interested in other markets and see how they operate. Because as we know, we're part of the social estate group, and we have people from all over. And London, UK is very different than the US, is very different than France, is very different than Canada. And we learn from everyone. So hold on, let me see what Carrie says. Did the 20% hike for overseas buyer deter overseas investors?
I don't think it did. I really don't think it did. It's the cost of doing business here. Again, being one of the greatest cities in the world, and that's statistically, we're still relatively cheap in with the dollar exchange, stuff like that, with the US dollar and the pound and the EU currency. It really is. We're cheap. And so I think for people to come in this city, hang their hat for a little while, be part of it. It really is. Like, summertime here is amazing. It's not too hot. We don't have the humidity.
I might have to book a long weekend in July.
Seriously. And then honestly, the drive up to Whistler is spectacular. Like the government spent a bunch of money to make that highway quite safe for the travelers up to Whistler when we had the Olympics. And you've got mountains on one side, and then the waters with the islands and all that stuff on the other.
Hold on one second. We're getting a lot of questions. So Carrie is asking, how does it compare to what domestic buyers pay in property tax?
So the domestic buyers don't pay that foreign buyers tax. Everyone pays a property transfer tax when that does come over, which is around, for argument's sake, about 2%. And everybody pays that here, whether you're local or foreign, but it's that sort of foreign buyers tax that they do. They wanted to try to deter, because we did have a huge influx from Asia coming over and like I said, just buying real estate and just letting the properties sit empty. So there was a lot of the condos, the lights would be out and the curtains would be drawn. So it really sort of deters from a community. So that was one of the reasons why they brought that in. But again, did it slow it down a little bit? The market keeps going here. The market keeps going. Yeah.
Well, thank you for your response. I think Carrie appreciated a lot, and it's very good. So I have another question. So what is you've been selling real estate in Vancouver for quite a while. Do you have any preferred type of property, condo, houses? Is there any property like you focus more on and that you love?
Well, for me, I'm now getting into the more luxury condo situation. So I'm sort of 2 million plus, which is always nice.
What do you get for $2 million in a condo?
So right now I've got a property 3.8 million. For 3,200 square feet. It's literally one of a kind. I'm actually got a showing there, so I'm going to put some stuff on my stories. But you're running around $1,000 to $1,800 a foot.
Okay.
So $1.8 million would get you 1,000 square foot apartment kind of thing, 1,200 square feet apartment. You've got some of the properties on the water with the glass and the views and the mountains and everything. It really is. It's pretty.
It makes me want to invest at some point and buy just a little place in Vancouver.
It is. It really, honestly, it just come, right? Just come, hang out, and just be. It really is. Like even in the winter, we'll maybe get 3 or 4 days of snow. Usually sort of February, March, or early end of February, early March, we'll get maybe 3 or 4 days of snow, but as I say, it rains a little bit, but we need the water, and it washes
For
the streets
sure.
clean. And you think of what's going on with the droughts in California, like we've got enough water for everybody.
For sure. So let's come now to social media, the evolution of the real estate industry. I mean, it's been changing over the past few
100%.
years. It's continually
100%.
changing. What are your thoughts on the future of real estate and social media and just media marketing?
It's imperative, right? It's people are doing this. People are on their phones now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We've talked about that a little bit in some of the clubhouse meetings that we've talked about is
Mm-hmm.
that short form vertical content, right? And it's now filming this way versus historically doing this in front of a computer screen. I think because everyone's on their phone, so what we're doing now is imperative. Doing your stories. Instagram to me is really.
It is. It's the main tool. I think,
Yeah.
and then you'll give me your thoughts, but I think, look, I use all the social media platforms. Now I less use, TikTok and Twitter, but the main ones, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and obviously WhatsApp is my go-to to stay in touch with everyone, are imperative because your network is on it. And then you have other people, following you and reaching out to you, and they have to know who you are. But I have to say Instagram is actually the favorite one, I guess.
It is. You're scrolling through, if you've got 5 minutes, that's what you're doing. You're picking up your phone, you're seeing what your friends, your colleagues, all that stuff are up to. That top left corner is really sort of where you want to be in terms of your stories. So I think that's really, really important to be doing 5, 6, 8 stories.
To be consistent, I think, to be consistent and to be you. Even look, these BT talks, I started in August 2020, and I've been quite consistent. And then I took kind of like a 6-7 week break. Just I got overwhelmed with so many things. And I got back to it last week, but just staying consistent, people, join. And it doesn't matter if there's 10 people or 200 people. No. As long as you do it, and I enjoy doing conversations, connecting with new people. And then obviously I do the typical, posting of different properties, whether I sold or I love or design inspiration, some photos of, some life moments. And I think that's how people connect with you.
100%. 100%.
And I think everybody should do that. I know it's not always easy. I think people are like, oh, I don't want to put my life here. I don't want to post this. As long as you do you, I think it works.
Yeah, totally. Well, I think that's going to be happening a lot lately, because the thought of having the house, the music comes on, and you come over the boxwoods and the water fountain. I'm like, forget it. It needs to be you. I think there's going to be a transition of people being in front of the camera more, talking almost like a co-host. I think
I'm actually working on. I'm working on getting some content creators to help me with this, but I'm trying to find the right guy. But basically, create my style of content and just put it out there on a weekly basis and just keep on doing it, because I think it's important to be in front of the camera to get used to it. At least, in the real estate business, people get to know who you are through video and social media platforms. Exactly. You can't hide. You can't be that secret agent,
Well, you can. 600 takes later, and then you might be able to get it. But that's how we met, right, through Clubhouse.
Exactly.
Which I think is a phenomenal platform as well. That's something that, again, not being able to hide behind a profile, right? It's your words and it's your conversations. It's about who you are, which has been fabulous. So I think, to me, it's picking 2 platforms to really focus on. For me, it's Clubhouse and Instagram. That's
100% agree.
That's really been sort of where I've started to do.
And you learn a lot of things, because we don't know everything. So we learn every day, and we connect with new people. So how do you see, the real estate industry in the next few years? Because look, there's, the big agencies that we all know. There's the boutique agencies. There's all styles of agencies. At the end of the day, it's you or your team, and people 100%. Connect with that. It helps to be with a big name, agency, but I think at the end, people work with you because they like you and because they trust you. Period.
Yeah.
That's how
No,
things
no
happen.
like trust, right? No like trust.
No,
That's
like trust. It's exactly that, and then they refer you business. And then same thing, we're also, you and I, and many other agents, around the world are also building I think something important is building a network and relationships and real relationships with
yeah,
other agents. Because other
yeah,
agents, I mean, even locally, I try to build relationships with other agents in South Florida, you know, because it's important. It can help in any form. We work together in any deal.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't see it as competition. I actually don't. I
I
just,
agree.
and it's very, very important. So,
Well, that's one of the things with our brokerage that we really focus on is that collaboration. For us, our number one core value is putting people first, and it's really about how we can work. Whoops, sorry.
no, it's okay.
How we can do that. Sorry, my phone did
It's
my
all good. Yeah.
thing just died on me there.
Yeah.
How we can do that together and work together as a group, right? It's not about, as you just talked about, it's not about that competition. It's not about, it's about working together. How can we put it all together as a team? So I'm
There's just
sorry.
saying collaboration is the name of the game. I always like to say it, but it's so true.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think that's to me that's where the industry's going. I would say historically the industry has been, what can I get out of it? It's realtors are not very much higher than lawyers and used car salesmen, but I think that has changed. In some ways, in some markets, realtors are the rock stars now. Like they're the ones on the social media and the cars and the
I
videos
mean,
and all that stuff.
Miami, it's,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has. It's certainly changed.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we do at our brokerage is about, sharing, growing, learning, working together. For me, a lot of it is the coaching and pushing agents to try, to do the social media, because I don't think a lot of them do that, right?
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of them they're hiding behind
So much. I want to do
the computer.
a little shout out
Yeah.
to our friend Margot, who is a rock star. She's doing incredible content creation on TikTok and on
Yes.
Instagram. She's part of a social estate fam,
Yes. Yeah.
and she's in the mortgage space. So
She's
anyone who's
amazing.
here,
I love her video. Love her
no, she
videos.
has.
Love her
I'm
videos.
actually
Yeah.
seeing her later this week. So,
Oh, are you? Is
but
she flying
she
out, or are you flying out there?
no, we're both in Miami.
Oh, really? Oh, I thought she was. I
Yes,
thought she
yes.
was in LA. Oh, cool.
No. She is one of the first people I met here. She actually reached out to me and on social media, and we connected, and we built an amazing relationship. So I know her since I came to Miami, and I'm very grateful for our friendship. She's an
Yeah.
amazing person.
Well, I'm looking forward to. I'm going to pop down there for the Grand Prix. So we've got to. I think we should get
Definitely,
set.
I'm gonna be there. I think we have a passion in common, which is Formula One.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. So my last question is, we're entrepreneurs, and we have our own definition of success, and we have different things that drive us. What drives you, and what is your definition of success? Because what keeps you up every day? Because for me, I'm super passionate about people, real estate. Every day I wake up early and I love what I do, even with the hard times. And I have certain goals. And success for me, is being happy at what you do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and just be surrounding with the right people, and just keep moving, and achieving your goals. What is your definition of success?
So I've had a something I say every morning, and it's each and every day we must live, strive, and survive to be the best, to be number one, to be all you can be, to make your day as well as someone else's a little brighter. And that's
No.
really, I've said that for the last 25 years, and it's striving, right? It's working hard, but it's also bringing everyone along with you. For me, there's no point in creating success unless you're with everybody else. And that's where I think my role has been to try to pull as many people along in that success as possible. For me, it's my wife and my family. That gets me up every morning. For literally in terms of he'll jump on.
It's the same.
Wake me up
I
every
think,
morning. Yeah.
yeah, it's very important. Family, my wife, my family, and you know, just living a beautiful life. I think it, you know, being happy at what you do, it's super
Exactly.
important.
Yeah, it is.
Very, very cool. Well, Eric, thank you so much for your time and being a wonderful guest on BT Talks.
It's an
Uh,
honor. I appreciate you inviting me in.
I very much appreciate, and we're gonna stay connected. I'm gonna come to Vancouver definitely. I mean, I'm
Awesome.
I'm very much tempted to come at some point this summer. I'm going to back to France in August with my
Yeah,
wife to see family, but
nice.
maybe before I'll do a long weekend. And
Hey,
when you come to Miami, let me know. We'll go out, take you to good restaurants, and you know, just show you around what Miami's about.
awesome. I can't
All right.
wait. Thank you
Thank
so
you so.
much for having me. It was an
Thank you,
honor
Eric.
to be a
Appreciate
part of
it.
your system. Excellent.
Thank you.
Take
Have
care,
a good
everybody.
one. Bye.
See you, man.